What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bonds Apartment YouTube channel. Of course, I am Luke Taggart. You can find me on Instagram and now Twitter. So go follow me on Twitter. We got a very special episode with a very special guest, Mr. David Zaritsky. How are you, sir?
I am doing great, Luke. How are you doing?
Excellent. David from the Bond Experience was kind enough to join me for this video. So after we did the video on your YouTube channel about the keep or kill for No Time to Die, you and I kind of spitballed this idea to mix and match some of the Bond outfits. And I think this kind of also stemmed from my video with the Matera linen press suit, because only a portion of that is actually Bond sartorial items, and then the rest I had to build on my own. So I approached you wanting to know if you had any ideas mix and match wise for these sartorial items. And of course, I think you do.
It's such a it's
Or
such a
you
good
wouldn't be
topic.
here.
Right, exactly. I can't wait too. It's such a great topic because a lot of people, it is a question, do you cosplay? Do you wear the same exact thing? I don't have the same exact thing. I can't afford the same exact thing. I mean, there's a lot of questions and comments that people have around the items, or maybe they just, aren't in the mood to wear a lot of Bond, but
Right.
maybe a taste, maybe
Right.
a dash of Bond. And how do you go about doing that successfully? And I think, you and I have been doing this for so long, just very organically and naturally, but it's not something that really videos talk about. It's not something that podcasts or posts on Instagram talk about. And I'll give you credit where credit's due. You were like, why don't we just go on and chat people through and maybe inspire people to kind of put things together a little bit differently.
Yeah, and the truth behind this is too, I asked you this question. I don't know if it was on a podcast or just over the phone or whatever, but I genuinely had this question for you, knowing that you have many of these items. If, because of course, the way I see it, most of the time, it is you promoting the entire outfit. So I was
Right.
very curious, do you ever wear this shirt with these pants? And out of true curiosity, here we are. So thank you very much for doing this.
I'm happy to do it.
You ready to start off?
Ready. Let's rock
So
and
you
roll.
haven't seen any of these, of course. So let's get going with the very first one. So we've got the Sunspel polo from Casino Royale. And of course, navy polo. He's wearing it with khaki chinos, a little baggy for us these days, but not at the time. How else would you wear the Sunspel polo?
Yeah, and it needs to be said, you could probably see what a great way to start because I am literally wearing the Sunspel Riviera polo that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I paired it this morning with the correct Planet Ocean Casino Royale watch.
Yep. My
And it's
first
an
love. My first love,
right,
that one.
right.
Beautiful
You
one.
always remember your first love.
Nice.
Um,
I'll never forget.
this is a great way to start this conversation because I think whether you have a lookalike or the actual Sunspell Riviera Polo, this is what almost everyone in the Bond community, whether you're into the lifestyle or style itself or not, you probably own something like it
Right.
because a blue polo is so traditional, even outside of Bond. I mean, you can't go wrong with a navy blue, polo. So Riviera Polo, I have a little confession to make right from the beginning. When I first bought this, the Riviera Polo way back in 2006, when it was first discovered, I did always pair it with khaki pants. I always paired it with, stone colored chinos, especially kind of at the time, a little bit baggier. I remember buying a couple of linen lookalikes
Mm-hmm.
that were like a light stone color. Then I found out that the ones he wore in the film were actually more of a light beige. So I gravitated to a light beige. And I did a lot of almost like cosplaying, like he wears, kind of these suede lokes with him. I would try to pair it as close as possible. Over time, what I've done is I've realized that having extremes of color, meaning if I paired this with like a light stone colored or even like white jeans, it can be it can be very striking, but it can also be a little in your face.
Right.
So believe it or not, what I've done over time is I've gone with more browns. So
Okay.
this, I've actually paired, this is going to get kooky, with the Casino Royale Ted Baker linen pants, which are a dark brown.
Is that the black button down scene?
Yes, but that's actually a blue. It's not
Oh yeah,
black.
as we now know from
Yes, which I've been preaching that it's been blue for like seriously 5 years, but now people actually believe it because Lindy Hemming said it.
right.
But what I like about pairing this with like the brown Ted Bakers or any kind of brown pants or brown cords is that it's not such an extreme in colors, because what happens is, especially I'm not tall. What happens is when you use extreme colors like a dark blue and like a light color, it looks like you're cut in half. So if your shirt's a little bit long, it can actually make your torso look a little shorter, and or worse, your legs look shorter and it makes you look shorter.
Right.
So having two darker colors next to each other actually make you look taller and a little bit thinner. My little tip with the Sunspel
Interesting.
Riviera.
Interesting. That's weird too, because I tend to like always have a sharp contrast between plug. I always have a sharp. See, I've got the opposite. Red Wings. No, you can't even see it.
Dude, I sent you the freaking cup to use in these videos.
It's being clean.
It doesn't need to be clean. Yeah, a little
That's
hot water
true.
and soap.
I'll go get it. I'll go get it.
No, you don't.
No, like you know, I have black like Lululemon pants that I bought, and then recently a dark gray Lululemon shirt. And of course, my fiance is like, "Why don't you wear those together?" And I'm like, second, because I don't want to look like an asshole, and two, because you know they the contrast is very similar. But I didn't realize that, so I'm definitely so. Do you ever wear this with jeans?
No, I haven't worn this with jeans, but I'll tell you what I did do that is along those lines. I have a pair of blue, very slim fit, whatever you call them, trousers, slacks, pants.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that was I wore a light beige jacket over this. So with the light beige over the blue and blue, because it's almost like this was like almost like a unicolor. It was like one color.
Okay, so the pants match pretty close.
Yeah, it looked really cosmopolitan. Like it looked very Bond, because it was like blue up here, blue down here with the beige jacket. It dressied it up. Plus this, I mean, most people know, you won't see it on this camera, but this has a what's called a lattice weave. It's not piqué. It's a lattice weave. So it looks really good with like a beige linen jacket, almost like the Moroccan jacket from Spectre.
Yeah.
So I used that jacket with this shirt with a pair of blue trousers and brown penny loafers, like suede penny loafers. This looked like, and I'm not being braggadocious here, it looked like a magazine ad. And it had nothing to do with anything you'd see Bond do, but the one color look with the breakup of the blazer looked really nice.
I want to see that. That sounds interesting.
You know what? I have a picture of it I can send you for this video.
I certainly hope so. If it was in a magazine.
Well, no, it wasn't. It looked like it could be in a magazine.
Yeah. Well, nobody will ever know unless we see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Ready for this one?
Yes.
This one's an interesting one because not as you know, it's a jacket, but this is the Armani leather jacket from Casino Royale, specifically the Miami airport scene. So this one is a fun one because, of course, and oddly enough, most of these, when I looked up pictures of you wearing them, show up on the internet. So this one, I didn't include that picture, but how else would you wear this one? Because of course, like I said in the beginning, I've seen you wear this full outfit for video reviews and such. So have you ever worn this differently, and how so?
Yeah, so the brown Armani jacket, and I think people have some lookalikes out there as well. I've worn with a myriad of different things. Now it's a casual jacket, so I haven't worn it with anything dressed up. I wouldn't take it to a business meeting. I have paired it with like blue V-necks, and again, you know, I'm preaching the brown and blues, but that dark brown with a blue. I've actually worn that jacket with this Sunspel Riviera. Talk about timing.
That was a question I would ask with the collar.
Yeah, because the nice thing is with it's got the kind of taller cadet collar, like blouson collar on it.
Yeah.
So what it does is it makes it so it looks like this is just a V-neck t-shirt because you don't see the collar underneath. but that blue with the brown looks really striking. Now, in that case, what I've done is I've worn it with lighter color jeans or chinos to break
Okay.
it up because,
Okay.
again, it's a lot of darkness on the top. I want to lighten it. And then what I've typically done is I've worn like a dark colored pair of shoes, never black, always brown. I
Hmm.
just can't get it out of my head. And a nice brown belt underneath, usually the R.M. Williams braided belt that Craig wears
Yeah.
in Dragon Tattoo. And I've worn that outfit actually quite a bit, you know, and when I think about, as you can imagine, when you're going to wear a jacket, like a statement jacket like that, you tend to work backwards. You think like, I'm wearing that jacket. What am I going to wear underneath? And I have actually worn the Sunspel t-shirt underneath just because it's so comfortable,
Right.
especially, you know, depending on the weather. But how would you wear that jacket?
So it's interesting because, I also have a hard time when you see it and it looks so good to try to pull something different off because it just, like you said, you even wear that t-shirt because it just does look great. I would probably wear it. See, it was interesting you brought up the Sunspell polo. Would you wear it if the polo collar was showing? Like, so you're collar to collar, or would you, gravitate to the Sunspell
Yeah,
because it can flatten out?
well, that's an interesting question. I don't think I gravitate to that naturally because it's got
Hmm.
such an interesting collar. I think that they would be fighting each other. Like if
Yeah.
this was, I'll give you an example. I've got a really nice, a few nice Tom Ford dress shirts.
Okay.
So the dress shirts themselves are very high on the neck. I mean, very high. So I think that the interesting collars would be like battling each other, at least in
Right.
my head, psychologically. And as you can imagine, so much of this is psychological. 99.9% of the people would not be like, oh, look at that guy's collars battling each other. But it's part of the psyche that we use.
David's a risk taker today.
He's
No, I
really an
mean,
avant-garde.
yeah, he's a crazy guy. I agree though, because that collar, since it doesn't fold over, it seems like it would look a little odd. But
Yeah.
I think as far as I would take this particular outfit away from what he does is maybe just a chino, like you said, or it is not a dressy jacket, so you couldn't wear it with something. I think maybe
Mhm.
the craziest I would get is kind of somewhat similar to the beginning of Skyfall when we see him on the beach, something maybe like a
Mm.
casual button down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not supposed to be very structured underneath. So that might be the craziest I would get with it.
I think you could wear that jacket with the shirt that you're wearing right now, too. I think it would
Yeah.
look really good, actually.
See, this is why you're here.
No,
This is why
I'm
he's
sure you
here.
thought the same thing.
Into the camera. This is why he's here. On to the next one.
Damn camera.
The
Oh,
next one. This one's tough because another one that just seems so damn fancy. And this is the Tom Ford cardigan from Quantum of Solace on our way to meet Mathis in Italy. So
yeah.
what do you think? First off, another one, and this is, if I remember correctly, your number one sartorial style Craig film, Quantum.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far.
So with these, it's kind of hard to, I mean, of course they didn't go wrong at all because people get paid to dress him, but
Hmm.
what else would you do with this cardigan?
Do and did and have done. I mean, this is, every season that I can wear this cardigan, it comes out at least 5 or 6 times, at least.
Mhm.
And that's in a decent sized wardrobe. So
Yeah.
that's saying a lot. And typically I will tie it with a white collared shirt. I have worn it with a Sunspel V-neck, almost like replicating the bitch is dead
Yep. Which
scene
is,
at the end when he's on the
yep.
boat. And
Yep.
I've worn it with chinos like that too, same color chinos, just to kind of try to draw that outfit. And it turns it into a much, like you said, fancy outfit. It turns into a much more relaxed outfit, almost like very casual. And maybe I'll unbutton like another top button just to make it kind of like it's, sloughing off of me. But
Yep.
I'll tell you what it looks really good with. And I highly recommend this. I've done that, and I know everybody has at least a lookalike of this. So hear me out.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've tied it with like a powder blue, like ice blue dress shirt, not white, The white with black is very stark and a little fancier.
Yeah.
But if you have a turnbull and ass or any kind of white powder blue shirt, nice, right? And then tie it with a very light, not charcoal, a very light pair of gray slacks. And I've tied it with black loafers.
Okay.
It looks amazing. I've worn that to pitches because I'm in the agency business. I've worn it to client meetings. I've worn it to date nights. It just looks so different, and it doesn't look like Quantum of Solace anymore.
Yeah.
But that look of the blue, the light gray, and the black, it just looks classic. It'll look good in the 1930s. It looks good in 2021. It'll look good 40 years from now.
That's interesting. See, I would never ever think to do the light blue with the because that is black. It's this one was I put this one on here because for me it's I don't know. I really don't know if it's just seeing Craig wear these things. And then because of course, most of the time when he wears something, I see it and I'm like, damn, I need to dress like that. It's not, I already do. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, you have to try to mimic it, but that's an interesting one.
Do you have a black cardigan like that?
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So next time, take it out and just hold up, like if you have a powder blue dress shirt or something, which I know you do, next to it or underneath it, fold it over as if you're wearing it, and you'll see that the colors and especially light, like a powder blue or a light blue, just looks really good.
And you're saying like a light gray, like almost like
light gray pants, not dark gray, because then it's like black and dark gray. It's just no.
Yeah.
Like you're sneaking around. But the contrast of the two, because you've got the black and the light gray, which could be very stead and stoic and stiff shirt. But then you have that powder blue, that pop of blue, and you're like, bam, it's like, boo.
Interesting. So my question for you, how heavy is this? Is it more of like a kind of like a thicker, like true cardigan, or is it like you put it on and it weighs 30 pounds? Because I also have both. Yeah.
The Tom Ford one is chunky, as I would like to call it. It's hefty. However, the wool on it is such a fine wool. It's such a good wool, and wool gets a bad rap, as you know. Wool actually breathes better than cotton, which shocks people. So you come out from outside, it's really cold, you go inside and the heat is pumping, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to sweat bullets with a big chunky knit. It doesn't happen with the Tom Ford cardigan. It actually breathes really well. But that being said, size appropriately, because you could look a little bulkier. You want it to be like Craig, he wears the cardigan doesn't wear him. So you got to make sure you get the right size.
Right. So the reason I ask is I tried to replicate an outfit Brad Pitt wears in Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So it's similar. It's a very dark green cardigan, and then it's a white V-neck with khaki chinos. Cardigan so that one that I actually replicated, that one weighs a ton. So for me, it's like I don't even wear it because of how uncomfortable it is. So that type of that issue would completely define, in my opinion, the different ways to wear it, because you know what I mean? So
I agree. I mean, and you've got to, we should have said this up front, but we'll say it now, 20 minutes in, you have to go for comfort. You won't gravitate to anything. You won't find your creativity sparked to wear different pieces if this is not a piece that you won't connect with. And so it's got to be comfortable.
Right. Well, perfect. On to the next one.
Oh.
The Tom Ford Harrington jacket from Quantum of Solace.
What a piece of crap.
Everybody has this one. Everybody who's lucky, who's either got this one or something similar. So
is this a piece that you feel as a bond styler and as a collector, if you had a choice of a lot of like correct brand items, would you have something like this made?
Yeah. This is one where I just think, because this is the thing I gravitate to most with, especially Craig. And you don't see this a whole lot with Pierce, actually close to never, in my opinion, but he wears things that you could wear anywhere. Like you could wear this to Target. You know what I mean? You can wear it anywhere. So when I see him in something like this, I think I have navy jeans. I have, a black or navy polo. I need this Harrington jacket. But of course, people like you and I, we go out looking for something similar and it's just not quite right. And that would bug the shit out of me. So this one in particular is one that I definitely would have made.
Yeah, and this Harrington jacket, so I've got the Tom Ford one, and both the original and then the re-release, they did a project where a bunch of people like you and I got together and said, hey, I didn't get the original one. Can you remake it same exact pattern? And Tom Ford has been fantastic with the Bond fans, and they did a whole new run of these, and they're perfect. The zippers are the correct zippers, because you had people like me being ridiculously anal and consulting with them. But what's great about this jacket is when you wear it out, again, it's that 99.9% of people don't realize you're wearing a Bond moment or a Bond brand. It's totally invisible, because those Harringtons go back to the 40s, 50s, and 60s, where they became popular with James Dean and Paul Newman and people like that. So it's such a classic look. I've tied my Tom Ford Harrington with almost every type of thing. I've tied it with nice dress shirts. I've done a lot of white V-necks, which talk about a Benjamin Button look. It just looks so crisp with that dark, almost midnight blue navy with the black piping on it. And then you tie that with like the striking, Sunspel V-neck. It just looks so good. And I've tied that with, it's going to sound really interesting. David, these colors, you sound like Jay Peterman, like a toffee colored or caramel colored chino. So not a white chino, because then it's like white and white, good humor, ice cream man thing going on here, but like an off-white, almost to the point of, almost like the color of my wall here, a little lighter. And then with the blue and a nice watch and a pair of suede chukka boots, I mean, you can't go wrong. But I've worn the outfit from the film too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's a lot of blues. Don't get me wrong.
Is the jacket blue?
The Harrington jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's blue. What did you think?
Black. Everything looks black.
Wait. Really? All these years?
Yeah.
Hold on. Are we talking about, I may be on the wrong one. Let me
No, you're in the right spot. It just looks black.
What color jeans is he wearing?
They're like dark navy.
Yeah. So what color polo do you think he's wearing?
That I think is the blue polo.
Okay.
Just
good.
because
I'm just checking
the next
colors.
Picture, and I've seen the film. But
right. So
I'm not colorblind. I'm just stupid.
No, but it's amazing. So since 2008, you thought the Harrington was black.
Yes.
That's
like
amazing.
If I ever went to a store, or if I ever seen anything, like, to be completely honest with you, my father has something like this that he had before this film even came out. And I was like, I'm going to steal that. Yeah, but he's a little bigger than I am, but it's black what he has. And I was like, damn, you're basically James Bond.
So do you have a look-alike Harrington?
No, I've never gotten one.
Okay, interesting. So you need, if you find one, it's got to be blue. Blue.
You know my address.
You crumb. Not only do I know your dress, I think I know your size.
Yes, you know that too. And I'm still trying to figure out why you asked that.
Very disturbing.
Yeah.
Very disturbing.
Yeah, I always thought this was blue. So, okay, now when you're saying you wear, off-white beige pants with it, I'm not as confused.
Right. Not as crazy.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I have a question for you. As far as the way it looks in this picture, is it as kind of looks like it I don't want to say it wears a little bulky, but it doesn't seem as fitted, especially in this area. So does that also kind of determine the way, like, would you wear something somewhat mildly business casual with it being a little less form-fitting?
No, well, it's interesting you say that. So in the movie, they've got a version that's a little looser on him, and they have a version that's more form-fitting.
Okay.
So the one I had it created and made to fit me more form-fitting. Now I've lost some weight. I've leaned down during COVID, believe it or not. So it probably is a little bit looser on me, but I still would wear something a little bit streamlined as opposed to business casual. So I still would probably do like the t-shirt or the polo as opposed to something a little bulkier underneath, because again, I think it serves, the jacket is such a centerpiece.
Mhm.
When you wear that jacket, you want eyes to be riveted, and they will be, to the jacket. You don't want them studying all the different layers. That's kind of a different piece.
Right. So I guess the other question I had for you is does it have any way to adjust, the bottom, like any sort of toggles or anything? Can you adjust
Yeah.
it like
Yeah,
that?
it's got the side tabs,
Okay, interesting.
which is really helpful. I don't like to adjust those too much because it does create like a little pleat
Right.
there. So if you do get that jacket, just make sure it fits you like right from the start. And if you lose weight, mazel tov, God bless,
Okay.
then you can use the tabs.
So you mentioned this is one of the pieces that if you wear, people don't realize that it's a Bond moment. Do you prefer that?
I always prefer that.
Okay.
I don't want, you know what, if I'm hanging out with a bunch of Bond friends, of course, they're going to be like, um, I mean, Bond friends that hang out together, sometimes it's like, hey, I don't want to wear the same thing like you and I did. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to be wearing this. Well, I'm going to be wearing this. Outside of that, I don't want people going, Danielle will do it. Danielle, if she sees me in something new, she'll be like, what movie is that from? Where did Daniel Craig wear that? Because
Star
she
Wars.
knows. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's a stormtrooper outfit. Isn't it obvious?
Yeah, that's interesting too, because I think, I agree, of course, 95% of the people in the community would understand that, but I mean, I digress. Next one. Very similar. Take the
Yep.
jacket off. Tom Ford Navy polo. So this one, of course, similar to the Sunspel as far as what you could pair it with, but what have you done with this one?
Yeah. So the jacket or the polo?
We're on the polo now. We're on the next one. Polo.
Yeah. So basically, well, interestingly, I haven't done a lot with this polo. I mean, it's so close to the Riviera polo.
Mhm.
So I just haven't done a lot with it. And I don't tend to wear it because honestly, like the Tom Ford one that he wears in the movie that I have is so rare. I mean, there was a whole, I don't know if you know this, there was a whole petition of Tom Ford, the company, to remake these. And they were going to. I actually sent them my original one to study, to build off the patterns because they had lost the patterns.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, the one thing I guess I see it with a certain amount of reverence, but um, how have you done it?
So this is the thing. It's the same as the Sunspell. However, my main question to you is I almost bought a Sun or a Tom Ford Polo maybe 3, 4 days ago. And they
Hmm.
are definitely, in my opinion, and this is where I need your advice, it seems a little dressier. Is that true with this one, or is that more with his newer polos? It just seems like heavier, it's dressier, it's kind of, it seems a little more haltered, if you will. Is that the case with this one, or is it as casual as the Sunspell?
It's as casual. In fact, I think there's a little bit more. There's linen in the Tom Ford one, so it's lighter. It's lighter
Okay.
than the Sunspell one, but okay. So the major difference, besides the size of the pocket and stuff like that, is the Tom Ford one bells out, and you can see it in the
Right.
fight scenes when he's fighting. Go back and watch. You see like this little like swish and swing to the hem, the around the waist. So the Tom Ford one goes like this. The nice thing about the linen is if you're built like you and I, you got a bit of a chest. It drapes really nicely.
Okay.
If you've got hips, you're in trouble because it'll like make you look like a pear.
Yeah.
So it's a little less forgiving than the Sunspell, to be frank with you. And the arms are just a little bit higher, believe it or not, than the Sunspell one. But that's kind of the only difference between the two.
To think that it's lighter than the Sunspell is shocking to me
I
too,
know.
because I've never seen anything made like that Sunspell polo before. Once I
Yeah.
got that in the mail, I was like, this, I mean, truly one of my favorite items and will probably always be one of my favorite items. So that's interesting. Just because when we were there, and maybe, of course, obviously Tom Ford has made several different polos over the years, especially in the last what, it's been 10 years since this film came out. So more than that. So it's, probably something a little different, but
Yeah.
and it also seemed like the arms on the ones that I were seeing kind of rode a little higher rather than Sunspell's kind of here.
Yes,
They kind
you're
of
right.
seemed like they rode a little higher.
You're right. That's
Yeah,
true. And Tom Ford is look, they're more avant-garde than Sunspel as a company. So they're going to do
right,
those kind of, crazy things.
right. Perfect. Next one. So this
Oh
is
boy.
one of the most iconic Craig outfits.
Yeah.
So we'll do a two-part here because
Okay.
that NPeal sweater he's got on is a very, very, very shocking color. So let's start with the Barbour jacket. This
Sure.
one, of course, like I said, a very iconic outfit. It's got the All Saint pants, the Barbour jacket, the NPeal sweater. This is an outfit that I think a lot of people have tried to replicate or went out and bought the whole thing. As far as the Barbour jacket, how else could you wear it? Do you wear it with the full thing that it comes with? Do you wear it buttoned? How else do you wear this jacket?
Other than the review online, I never wear the full outfit out. And it's not that it doesn't look good together. It does, and nobody would know what it is. But you have to understand something. That Barbour jacket, and we're all guilty of this. When a new movie comes along, you tend to wear the new movie clothing.
Right.
But that Barbour jacket, 2012 Skyfall, that is my jacket that I wear in the fall and in the transition to spring. It's a little bit drizzly out. It's a little bit rainy. I wear that.
Yeah.
So because of that, I've worn it with casual outfits. I've worn it with chinos. I've worn it with, slightly dressier clothing going out at night on the town,
Mhm.
with Danielle, because it's a Barbour jacket. It's a little bit more highfalutin. It's got a
Right.
good brand. People can recognize it as a Barbour
Yep.
jacket, even in the wild. So I've worn it with so many different things. What I don't tend to do, this could be interesting for you and your audience. What I don't tend to do is wear it with a lot of sweaters because, number one, I purchased it slim fitted to me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold a lot of bulk. I don't have a lot of room in there. It look like I'm hulking out of it. But the other thing is it's very warm. It's got a foil interior that keeps
Mhm.
the heat in. So if I wore it with a shirt and a sweater and a scarf and the jacket, I would be a puddle of sweat.
Yeah.
So I tend to wear it with kind of lighter clothing that I can kind of take on and off. And I just love this thing. And it's so well broken in. Like I said, I've had it for 10 years. I've had it treated once. And so it goes with so many things. But what about you? Do you have the jacket?
I don't have it. I am going to get it, but I have worn it. So a friend of mine does have it. And I think, and this is the crazy part, I think he bought like a medium and it was a little big, if I'm not mistaken. And
Did he
because
get
I
the commander
usually,
jacket or did he get the original one? Because the original one's hard to get.
I think he most likely got the commander.
Yeah. And the
But
commander you can get for a decent price now.
oh yeah, they've got them like 50% off many places, which is great.
Exactly.
And then I've probably told you about this, but the tailor I use here in Michigan, they have a full line of Barbour clothes. All of them are 50% off. And I kind of want to say to her, why are you doing this? But at the same time, I don't, because where do you think I buy my Barbour stuff? It's from her. And I'm not going to tell her until I'm done buying it. But because come on. This is another one to me. The sweater itself, which we'll talk about next, I can go without, but this is one, I've had jackets similar in color and even where you can kind of button them and they kind of create the similar shape. I love wearing it with with like a navy pair of jeans and like brown
Oh,
boots.
yeah.
I absolutely love that look. Like even exactly what I have on currently, I could throw it on with. That's how I would wear
100%.
it,
I think you nailed it.
Yeah. So the blue NPeal sweater. So this is
Yeah.
like I said, a very shocking jolt of color, very deliberate choice, of course, for this scene. But like I said, became one of the most iconic outfit he wears. Do you have that sweater, and how would you wear that aside from what the say the jacket's completely gone? It's just a sweater. How would you wear that?
Yeah, I have two versions of the sweater. I have the original version that he would have worn from the same line from the same year. And then I have the re-release that's got the 007, tag and stuff like that in the back. But very comfortable, best cashmere in the world. That could be a poster child for them, for NPeal cashmere. And so it's very comfortable. I've worn that with a pair of brown corduroys like he does in
Okay.
the movie, and it looks great because you got this light blue with the dark brown, and it doesn't look too shocking. I've I'll tell you what I've done. Usually I don't wear any shirt underneath it. It just looks good, like just a
Yeah.
regular kind of like scoop neck.
Yeah.
I have worn it once with the collar out and the collar in. It looks much better with the collar in, I think. And I know
Mhm.
it's fashionable to wear the collar out, but it comes up high, so it splays the collar out a little bit too like batwingish.
Yeah.
So I tend to wear that if I just want to have like a sweater underneath with no shirt. I've worn it with a pair of jeans, and it's kind of cool to
Yep.
put the two contrasting blues, like dark, navy pair of Levi jeans next to each other. Again, pair of like brown boots, brown
Mhm.
loafers with
Mhm.
that sweater looks fantastic.
So when you say collar in or out, what do you mean by that with this sweater?
Yeah. So this sweater, it purposely, like, I know it has almost like what you're wearing underneath it, but it's an All
Right.
Saints. Um, but the sweater, if you look at it in the catalog, a lot of the times people pair those types of sweaters with a collared shirt. So
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the shirt itself. You would like
no,
fold
you've
the
got
collar over. I was like,
no,
well,
no, no,
how do I
no,
not
like
know this is a thing?
a dress collar shirt, like
Okay.
in or out, in or out. It's the biggest debate in the world.
Right. Yes. See, I always thought, the collar out was early 2000s, and now it's kind of drifted away.
It depends what your jam is.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one. This is one that I do own, but in a different color, the Billy Reid peacoat. So this is one that I thought was interesting because, of course, the dark black looks fantastic in this film, as and it's rare that we see Bond dressed to the nines, but not in a suit.
Hey,
So it's very
Luke,
strange to
you
me.
need
Yeah.
to either give up your Bond style card
Is
or
it
we need
blue
to send you
again?
to an Oculus because
It
it is
can't be blue.
of course it's blue. It's always been blue. This should be a blunt instrument episode of me like calling you out and going like, what on earth are you doing?
I'm editing this shit out. This part's getting edited out. Okay, so
It's not. It cannot be edited out. It's literally called the Navy polo from Skyfall. I mean, this started with reviews back in 2011, 2012, but it's always been blue.
wait a minute. What are we talking? We're on the Billy Reid right now.
Billy Reid.
This is okay. Wow.
Skyfall, Billy Reid.
Wow. All right. So
It's blue, and even the lookalikes are blue.
dark blue, dark blue,
Yes, it's dark blue, but it's
dark
not
navy.
black. Now they did make a black version. I've got the black version, the beige version, the blue version. I've got the cashmere version. I've got 8 versions of this
You don't have the
jacket.
gray version.
No, I do not.
Interesting. I have the gray version.
Of the Billy Reid jacket.
Yeah.
Okay, are you sure it's gray and not white?
I'm gonna have to take a look.
I'm joking, but I mean,
Mute.
no, it's a blue navy polo. I'm glad we got this corrected so you
A
don't
blue
put the
navy
wrong one in the
jacket. You mean
future.
blue navy jacket.
Sorry, I did say polo.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep messing up so I don't look as bad. Okay. So this navy friggin' Billy Reid peacoat.
Yes.
So it's off the rails. What time
This
is
is
it?
hilarious. But this is what
So
makes these videos so great. You don't
of
want to edit
course,
any of this out
I
because this is
think
the
is
magic.
this is I'm just picturing thumbs down, thumbs down. Okay, so
Poser.
like I said, I have the gray, white, who knows, it could be red for all I know,
That's right.
version of this. So with this navy jacket,
Hmm.
of course, in the film, shirt, tie, sweater, slacks. How else have you worn this one? Because this is one that I personally have worn many different ways. So I'm
So I've
curious to see
worn
how
it.
you've done it.
Yeah, I've worn it like this for a couple of videos, but also like out in the world. And I get a
Mhm.
lot of compliments with the John Smedley black, sweater and everything all together. And that's a really good outfit to wear with this. However, this is my go-to jacket still during winters when I want it to be like a
Yep.
little bit dressed up. So for example, if I'm going out with Danielle and I'm wearing like a nice button down shirt, whether it's blue or, white or anything like that, I've worn it with that. I'm very careful not to wear it with jeans, I have to say,
Mhm.
because again, it looks just too blue, too navy.
Right.
I'll tend to wear it with like a pair of charcoal pants. I've actually worn it. It looks really good with a pair of like light beige chinos,
Yep.
kind of like a casual look. I've done it like that as well. And if it's a little bit on the warmer side, like, I mean, like you're talking like 45 degrees, 50 degrees, I can still get away with doing it. But honestly, the thing underneath it, I'll wear it with like a navy long sleeve polo. Like there's a long sleeve Sunspel polo just like this, but it's got long sleeves. I would
Yep.
wear it with that.
Okay. See, and that's where it's interesting because the gray one that I have looks awesome with a navy pair of jeans, like
I
so good.
bet it's
And
gonna be
that
gorgeous.
is, yeah. So I've actually worn it with the navy. So it's the gray version with the navy jeans, brown boots, and then actually like a black scarf and even a black
Hmm,
like winter hat. And it's honestly
nice.
one of my favorite looks, not to be all, Luke is king, because I clearly don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No,
But
he's just
that
colorblind,
that
but there's
was
nothing wrong with
one,
that.
yeah, the same. But that is one that I've actually been pretty proud of. But as far as the jacket goes, it is very heavy. It is a very, heavy
It
jacket.
is. But the reason they
So,
didn't put the lining in there is so the wool breathes. Again, it
right,
breathes pretty well.
right. I mean, and trust me, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I actually, similar to you, I've lost a few pounds, so I'm gonna have to get
Good.
it tailored, which I'm,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Just out of curiosity, why did you go for the gray versus the blue?
So I actually went with the gray because at the time I could only find the gray in my size. However, I actually truly thought that I would just really wear the gray more often. And
Yeah.
we've talked about this as well. I tend to kind of, it's similar with what we'll talk about later, the Tommy Bahama. That one he's wearing black in the film, I think. I think it's
Yes.
black. And
Wow.
I'm gonna have a little tally right up here of things that I got right.
Ding.
So that one, it's like, of course he looks great in that Tommy Bahama, but when I saw the blue online, I was like, I feel like I'll wear blue more. I don't think I've owned like a black casual kind of button down shirt since,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe early high school, truly. So it was kind of the same thing. I just felt I could wear it with jeans. It's one of the ones that it's a coat that I wear, a jacket I wear to work a lot. When we were still going into the office, I was wearing it to work Monday through Friday, whether it was a suit, a dress shirt, or Friday with the jeans and whatever. So it was one I just felt it was versatile in the gray.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. On to the next one. John Varvatos moto suede moto jacket. So this
Yeah.
is another one that I've never gotten my hands on.
What
This is
color
an
is that?
interesting one that I think is green. It's black, is it not? It's got to be black. It's got to be freaking black.
Are you really creating a tally? Because it'd be really cool if you edit a tally. So
I
it's
will.
blue.
Are you? What is with the blue? I don't understand. Why the blue?
What is with your observation of color? I think is the right question.
Honestly, maybe it's because I've got this pulled up on my work computer and it's a piece of
You've
shit.
researched these clothings though before this video, right?
Slightly.
Okay, because there's really good pictures of this, and or if you go to like Remmert's site, um, anyway, I'm just hassling you a little bit, but it is blue. So it's a blue John Varvatos
Water's
over
not going to
the
cut it.
charcoal NPeal. So
Okay.
that's almost black. And then it's got
Thanks.
the black puppy tooth pants, and then he's wearing brown shoes. So it's all over the place, this outfit.
Right. But see, of course, in the picture I'm looking at, it looks like he's got on a black jacket, a charcoal shirt, charcoal pants, and I can't
Yeah.
see the shoes.
Okay. But you've seen the movie and you've seen the outfit.
Yeah, but I've only seen Spectre once because I'm not that big a fan.
Is
I'm
that
just
true?
kidding.
You've only
No,
seen
it's
it once?
completely untrue. It's completely untrue. I actually
Wow.
don't mind Spectre. It was a complete lie.
Good for you.
This one, so this when he wears this, he kind of finds a way to make it look somewhat dressy.
Oh, I
And
agree.
you
I
know what I
agree.
mean? And it's whether it's supposed to be or not. And of course, the situation he's wearing it in is not a business meeting.
Yeah.
So with this one, when you see him wearing this in the film and you think, okay, somehow it looks dressy, and it's definitely not the point. Of course, like I've said, everything is done with a purpose with how they dress
Yeah.
Daniel
It's
Craig.
supposed to be an action outfit, really.
Exactly. How can you look at that and think, how else can I wear this not in a way that he's wearing it?
It's a good question. And I have a little bit of a confessional in the standpoint of I had this jacket and reviewed it and wore it a handful of times, and it just wasn't for me. It's got this kind of crazy baseball stitching and stuff like that. I found it was better for someone's age group like yours, honestly.
Okay.
And it just wasn't me. It was too fashion forward. And because of that, I just found myself not wearing it, sold it. Then about, kid you not, a year later, felt like my collection was incomplete without it.
Mhm.
So I bought it again. And then I'm like, why do I have this thing in my collection? It's hanging up in a hanger. Are you really going to be that guy? And sold it to somebody that desperately wanted it.
Right.
So boom, there it went out of my collection. So I haven't worn this with a lot of different things. I wouldn't wear it like this. It's too much all over the place. It's
Right.
blacks and puppy tooth and charcoals and dark blues, to you black, brown. It's like, and when I find that colors are so close like that, it can be a little confusing to the eye. It can be a little I don't know, off-putting, if you will. So I don't know, it's not the jacket for me. It's hard for me to weigh in on this.
So do you think when they piece this together, and not jokes aside, do you think that they piece this together thinking it's going to film well, but maybe in person it might not be the best looking combination of items?
Oh, I don't think they even went for best looking. I think in this case, he's supposed to be stealthy, and he is.
Okay.
I mean, he's all dark, and this is like the perfect outfit. Look, he's at a safe house when you first see this outfit. Then he goes on a mission. He knows he's going to go on an attack mission. You wouldn't wear a pair of stone-colored chinos that stand out like a neon sign at night.
Right.
So this is a very cool, harkens back to Connery. Moore had his dark outfits. Dalton had his dark outfits. It's very appropriate for what he's about to do. For me, going out on the town, or having, meeting you and your fiance for a martini, not so much.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm kind of surprised that I don't know. I mean, it's just another one of those things where he, of course, looks fantastic. And
He
I'm
does.
kind of surprised that you got rid of it, but at least you're being, similar to me, where you're not going to keep something or even purchase it.
I've had
Where
items
you're not
that
gonna wear
get
it.
voted off the island, as
Yeah.
they say. And, I still have a pieces even we're going to get to from the new movie that may get voted off the island, but haven't yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on to the next one.
All
Back
right.
in with another Spectre. So this is the
Oh,
Tom Ford jacket. This is this is blue. This one is blue.
partially.
Yeah. Here.
The very
Black,
good.
blue.
And the rest is charcoal. Yes.
Right there.
Yes. My boy is
So
back.
this one, they call this a bomber. Would you call this a bomber?
No, they do call it a bomber, but I wouldn't call it a traditional
See, and
bomber.
I did do research, David. I swear to God, I really did. Like, we're talking, even my fiance was like, I thought we were watching a movie. I'm like, shh, I got shit to do. So I did.
Listen,
but
I know we're joking about it, but this is very common. And I'm actually glad this happened on this video, much to your chagrin, but because color, especially color, is one of the most misunderstood things in this hobby, where people say, look, the Alfani shirt, perfect example. It's like, oh no, it's black, it's black, it's black. No, it's not, it's blue.
yeah.
And I thought it was black for the first 5 years of my life with it too. And then got schooled and blah, blah, blah. But don't worry about color. But all right, so back to this. I will say that I love this piece. This is such a great piece. Does it keep you warm? I did a jacket review last winter where I wore this outside for a day. And, by itself with a t-shirt underneath it, that's how I did it.
Not really.
It's kind of for looks, or like a transitional piece, fall type of outfit. Like if it's honestly, if it's like 40 degrees to 55 degrees, it's perfect. It's almost like wearing a sweater. In fact,
Right.
to me, this is like a zip up jacket sweater.
Yeah.
It's like a swacket
Nice.
or a jetter, but it's not one or the other. So I think, and by the way, super soft, super fitted. If you get the right size, you look like an action hero. To
Right.
me, this is one of the Craig pieces of clothing. You put it on, and it's like armor. You just feel like you could take on the world and sold in Austria. It's just that cool. But I've worn it with t-shirts. I've worn it not really with dressy stuff, but I'll wear it with like a light V-neck, light color sweater underneath it. I've worn it with jeans. I've worn it with light colored slacks. I've worn this with like everything. It's really one of those items that becomes a chameleon. You can really just wear it with a lot of different things.
So
do you have something similar?
no, I don't. And I'd
Okay.
like to. Didn't Royale Filmware
Yeah.
replicate this one? Yeah. So this one
sells
here,
out like that.
right, which I can understand.
That and his Harrington. Yeah.
Yes. Most honestly, a lot of his stuff does. Shout out to Royale Filmware, by the way. I do have a piece of his, which we will get into shortly.
All right.
This one with the jeans. So actually, let's start with the V-necks and the t-shirts. So I'm assuming you're not always going all the way to the top with the zipper then?
Typically not.
Right.
And to go all the way to the top is like, it's like sitting like right here, which I don't do great with things against my neck in general, but so I'll put it like right here. And then what it does is it kind of angel folds down. It looks really nice like that.
Yeah. And then with the jeans, so like we said, there's blue and black in this jacket.
Yep.
What kind of, are we talking like a black jean probably?
No, I actually don't own black jeans.
Okay.
It'll almost always be like blue jeans.
Okay. How does that contrast? Is it kind of similar to what we talked about earlier with the elongating concept?
Yeah, it does. It creates an elongating look. I've worn it with cords as well, like different color, like what they call baby whale corduroys, are very thin corduroys. You hardly even know. It's not the wide whale ones. They look very good too.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And can you do me a favor? These pants that he's got on, or trousers, what exactly are those as far as?
Yeah.
Because those are an
They're
interesting.
ski pants.
Okay.
They're wool ski pants. I have a pair. I have a lookalike pair too. They're hard to wear. They're very strange looking. They like billow out in weird places, and it's not something I can really wear in public, to be honest.
I understand that concept. The next one, this, David, is my favorite Bond outfit of all time.
Yes.
Of all time. And this is the item that I have from Royale Filmware. I had to buy it when I saw it because I am obsessed with this entire outfit. So we'll do a two-parter. And of course, the next image is, of course, the turtleneck. But we'll start with the Dior men's Ham jacket.
Yeah. What color is it?
This is navy. This is navy because I have it, David.
I'm so proud.
So thank you. I mean, here in the picture I have up here too, everything from his hair. Like, I think Spectre to me is my quantum to you. I love the sartorial elements of Spectre. But
this scene is the best scene in Spectre.
Great. It is. I agree completely. So with this jacket, I know how I've worn it. We'll get to that. How else have you worn it aside from with this NPeal turtleneck underneath?
Yeah, so I have the real one, and I have the replica one, the Daniel Love one.
Also, and just to say real quick, not to cut you off, your review is why I have that.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's cool.
I was very I need to know how it's going to fit. I mean, it came from Australia, of course, so it took a while to get here. And you know how it was going to fit and if you liked it. So thank you for that. Continue.
No, of course. So, all right. This outfit is one of those, you probably will agree with me shortly, that to wear it like it is in the movie with the light colored NPeal turtleneck and the puppy tooth pants like he wears in the movie, something close to that is perfect. And it's actually the outfit I've worn the most. It looks great with the turtleneck. It likes the contrast. Plus, in this case, just like you, we're brothers from another mother. To me, it's my favorite scene in a Bond movie in a long time. So I do like to have that feeling of kind of connecting with that scene.
Yeah.
But I've worn that jacket with a lot of different outfits, most of them nicer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
business outfits. It's very few times that I'm wearing it with jeans. I'm curious to hear how you pair it with,
Mm-hmm.
but I will often do it with a pair of, I do have puppy tooth pants.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know what puppy tooth, it's not houndstooth. Houndstooth is a bigger, chunkier pattern. Puppy tooth is like houndstooth, just really small. Puppy tooth, houndstooth. And then I also have a pair of charcoal worsted wool pants that look really good with it. And I've worn it with gray jeans.
Okay.
So I've got a pair of really nice gray jeans, and it looks amazing with that as well. How have you worn
So
it?
I've worn it basically in every way you have. So
Hmm.
I've got a puppy tooth, and it's a very weird, it's a they're dress pants, but they're kind of in a jogger fashion. So they
Hmm.
actually have like an elastic waistband. So there's no spot for a belt. So with that NPeal cable knit with these pants, it's just got like a very like I want to say like 60s kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And then I have worn it with navy jeans. And then I've actually worn it with like a very dark gray chino as well. But I've worn this with, like you said, dressier outfits. And then I think most recently, I'd have to think, but I actually think I have like a Barbour kind of flannel looking button down shirt. I've actually worn that with it as well. I mean, this to
That's
me, it's
great.
just the way it's this jacket, and I have to defer to you. The original one, the actual Dior one, is it as heavy as you would assume? And just how does that one feel on compared to the Royale film
It's a
one?
great question. It feels as heavy. This is going to be a duh statement because it's the $4,000 jacket versus 400 or 350,
Hmm.
whatever it is. Um, the cashmere on the Dior one is like butter.
Right.
I mean, it is so soft. I mean, people will like grab your arm, or I remember Danielle feeling it for the first time, and you can see it in my review when I talk about it. It is just ridiculously soft because I think they not only use really good cashmere, they comb it as well.
Yes.
So the barbs come off of it. It gets very soft. Um, but the homage one, the artist version that Daniel did,
Hmm.
is really good. Like the way it fits and the way it moves, more importantly, when you wear it, is pretty bang on.
Yeah.
So for those that want to get that same feeling and look, and look, I don't care how people feel about Spectre. From the time you see him on the boat to the time he leaves and he's wearing that jacket, Mr. White's place,
Hmm.
it is some of the best filmmaking, some of the best acting, some of the best badass Bond moments. And that outfit is without question, without
Yep.
peer.
Yep. So I think it's just interesting to me because, like you said, the way that they have it in the film, it's pretty near perfect. I
Yeah.
don't think I would change a single thing. I mean, even like I said too, down to his hair, because the Skyfall haircut, I wasn't a big fan of. The Spectre haircut, I love.
It's
So
kind of tousled and things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's like, and of course, he took the hat off, so it's supposed to be messy, but at the same time, he's James Bond, so it's messy. But like,
It's
damn, I
it's a
wish my
good
hair looked like
messy.
that every day. Right.
Yeah.
So the sweater itself, which is the next image as well, the NPeal cable knit sweater, stunning. So this
Okay.
one, I
I'm
just see like Christmas party here.
Yes, I'm going to drop the mic on this one though, because I think this might be my favorite item from the entire Spectre movie, Bond
Okay.
wise, even beyond suits. Not only is it comfortable, not only does it fit like it was born around you, and it still has that traditional look, kind of a military holding. That fumo gray is just such
Hmm.
a great gray. It goes with any skin type, from my pale to your olive. I mean, I don't care what skin type you have, it is perfect. But I'm going to go the distance. I've
Okay.
worn this with a full on suit instead of a shirt and tie.
Yep.
So I paired it with my Quantum Tom Ford suit with that. Honestly, I've never had more compliments in my life. I wore it to work. I wore it to a business meeting. Again, I wore it to a pitch once. It just looks so buttoned up and traditional. And then I've also worn that with jeans. I've worn it with slacks. I've worn it on a date night. I've worn it with different Bond jackets. So I've worn this with the Skyfall peacoat, you know, and just the navy blue on top of that looks so amazing.
Yep.
So this is, to me, one of the most versatile kit in the entire series, not just Daniel Craig, but the entire series. I've worn it so much that I've actually had to have it repaired, because NPeal does free repairs for life.
Did you do a video on that too?
I did.
Yeah.
So you
I've
can,
seen that one.
what's great about NPeal is, yeah, they cost more, but it's the original thing, feels great. And if you get a little hole in it or you get it snagged on something, you send it back to them, they repair it, they put it in a beautiful box, wrap it in beautiful 007 paper, and you get a box in a couple weeks later and your sweater is like brand new.
So this
Shut
one to
up.
me, yeah, their NPeal is incredible. And one of the things I think that makes this also appealing from a fan perspective is...
You mean NPealing? Sorry.
Once again, camera, this is why he's here. So NPeal is, of course, cashmere. It can get expensive. This is actually one of their more inexpensive Bond items. I mean, it is, I think, about 400, but in the scheme of things, for what it is, that is not crazy. And thanks to, I do have it. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And thanks to Daniel at Royale Filmwear, you can complete this outfit for an absolute steal of a cost.
Comparatively, yeah.
You know, so let me ask you, with wearing it with a suit, that collar, with it being thinner than cable knit all the way, you know what I mean? Is that what kind of gave you the idea? Like, say if that collar was as thick as the whole shirt all the way up and rolled over, would you have still worn it with a suit?
Well, I mean, that collar, I mean, the turtleneck does fold over, of course. You know, it's a traditional turtleneck, but to your point, it's a thinner cashmere. It's what's called long-haired cashmere. So it's not only coned, it's longer hair, so it's thinner. But yes, that was, if it was a chunkier knit, and I have some of the chunkier NPeal knits, they wouldn't work with a suit, because it can't be that much thicker than a shirt or a shirt and a t-shirt. So I've got to keep that in mind. And I also had to wear it with a suit that didn't look like it was spray painted on me. I've got some suits like the Tom Ford Mexico City Spectre suit that I own. Looks like it was spray tanned on me. Can't wear it with that. But my Quantum one fits a little bit more generously. So that one, it's just something you need to think about when you think about doing these things, is fit.
Yeah. And then as far as the size, is yours medium?
I want to say it's a small, but it might be a medium.
Okay. Yeah. This one, would you say it runs slightly on the larger side?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I think NPeal in general wears on the larger side. And I've got this whole like NPeal equation that I do, where if it's the like silk and cashmere stuff, or what's the thinner gauge, I go down. If it's not, I go up. So that's typically how I do it.
Yeah. I mean, NPeal stuff is amazing. And of course, you know, me, when I went to buy this, being in Michigan, I had to order it online. Of course, always nervous in those situations.
Yeah.
But it showed up and it was perfect. Thank you guys for tuning into part 1 of the Mix and Match Daniel Craig edition with Mr. David Zaritsky. We will see you guys next week for part 2. Thank you.